Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Carla, I am the Stitchy Witch, and I am back with another update of my projects. This is going to be an update for the whole of March and everything that I have done on my projects since the beginning of March. So yeah, it's going to be not a very long one because I don't actually have that many whips on the go to show you, but I have made some good progress this month. So there is that. And I'm slowly getting towards a finish on one of them, which is really exciting. So yeah, I'm not very good for all the long and lengthy chats at the beginning of the videos. So let's just get stuck straight in, shall we? So I have worked on 7 of my projects in March, which is quite a lot more than normal because I just sort of been doing maybe 2 or 3. But in March, for some reason, I decided I wanted to do more than 2 or 3. So I picked out 5 of them, and then I added another 2, which I just sort of came across, which were like old whips that I put away somewhere. And I decided I wanted to have a little bit of a change. So towards the end of March, I picked up 2 completely random whips that I haven't touched in ages. And I decided to work on those. So that's something a little bit different. So my goals this month were mainly just to get as close to a finish as I could on my Home for the Holidays by Thomas Kincaid, which I decided to do about 3,000 stitches a month until I get a finish, which I calculated to be around June. But I actually think it's going to be sooner than June, so that should be exciting. So I don't have these projects today in any particular order, but I'm just going to go with whichever way I've taken them out of the Q snaps or whatever. Not completely organized as usual. And I've written down the number of stitches that I've done as well, because I remembered that some people always say to me, you never tell us how many stitches you've done. I never really count them, but I've started doing that now because it's actually quite nice to know how much to compare between one and the other, how many more stitches you've done or less stitches you've done. Pattern Keeper makes it so much easier to do that. So yeah, it's not too bad. I did find that there was a few days where I hadn't recorded the stitches, so I had to go back into my tablet and go to the previous days or whatever, and then but at least you can go back and get that information, which is actually pretty cool. Didn't know you could do that, but once I learned that you could change the date setting and go back to get to a previous day and pick out the information from there, that was actually really quite useful. Okay, so let's get started. My first whip that I want to show you is called Sad Fairy. I put this one away for a pretty long time. I'll throw up a picture for you to see. It's by the artist is called Elena Lazareva, and it's a Heaven and Earth design. It's 25 count that I'm working on, and I'm doing 2 over 1/10 stitch, which is really my go-to type of stitching, is 2 over 1/10. It's the one that I prefer, although it's not the only one that I'm doing. And on this one, I managed to achieve 1,742 stitches. And here she is so far. I'm working her on a piece of DMC fabric, actually. So, yeah. She's looking pretty good. I might have to actually stand up for some of these because I can't see where I'm pointing them. There we go. So I've actually worked on, let's see if I can get this right in. I've worked on this edge here, and I've been coming down in blocks. So I think that's looking really good. She's coming into focus quite a bit. I worked a little bit more on her arm as well, the one that she's got her head leaning on. And I just love the look of those, they're called stargazer lilies, those flowers. So yeah, really coming along quite lovely. So getting there bit by bit. So I'm now actually at 42% on this one, I believe. Or perhaps it's a bit more than that. It might actually be 46. I know that between this one and Riverwalk Charm, there was a difference. One was early 40%, the other one was closer to 50%. And I can never remember which of them it was. But yeah, I think this one was closer to the 50% than Riverwalk Charm. I'll have to verify that. But anyway, they're both coming along to halfway. And yeah, so it's actually quite tricky to retain enthusiasm for working on these thorny bushes and trees. Sometimes you just think, oh God, if I do another colour like that, 931 or 930, and if I do another 413 and 414, 3799, you know the colours I'm talking about, all the greys and the blues, I thought my mind would go a bit crazy. So I basically have to not do as many on this particular chart as I would really like, because I find it quite tedious to be going through all those, all that background and sky. So that I did 1,742, just short of 2,000 stitches. So that's not too bad actually. I feel like I could have done better, but I also feel like I could have done a lot worse. So I'm not completely unhappy with that result. I shall be working on that one again. In fact, I'm probably going to continue with all the ones that I show you. I'm probably going to continue with them throughout April, possibly. There hasn't really actually been many changes this month. I've more or less kept to the schedule that I wanted to. Okay, so the second one I'm going to show you is called Astrology Cat, and many of you will know this one because you're also doing the HAED stitch along. And I'm working 1/1 full cross on 22 count, and I've left this one inside my nudge hoop. I don't really see I need to take it off, and I've got to date 2067 stitches on in March. So I've done the first 2 pages and I'm coming over here into the 3rd page on this side. I did actually receive part 2, the 2nd quarter of this chart, which came into my email inbox, I think it was yesterday, could have been the day before. So I imported that into my pattern keeper, and I now have the other side of this page, and I have the 2 bottom pages under here as well. So yeah, I'm not as far ahead as I would have liked to have been, but I did actually decide that I wasn't going to go full steam ahead on this one, that what I actually wanted to do was just get my 4 pages in, and I would be happy with that. I think a lot of people have actually said that as well. If I can get my 4 pages in, I'll be happy with that, and it means that hopefully I will get the rest of the charts. There's been some contention with the whole way the HAED sale has been organised, or it's sort of started to unravel when some of the artists left Heaven and Earth Designs business, and I'm not going to go into it because I don't really go into the whole politics of stuff. I just want to stitch and have an easy life. So if I get all the charts, great. If I don't get all the charts, for me, I'm not going to complain and make a fuss about it. It was just for the participation of doing this and for the fun anyway, and that's exactly what I'm achieving. But if I do happen to get all of the charts that are currently being offered at the end of the year, then I would like to probably at some point do one of the Merry Mushroom Village. I always forget which one is which. There's a 1, 2 and 3, and I like the one that has the big tree on the top left, the big root, the bark of the tree on the top left side of the screen of the design, and I can't remember if that's 1, 2 or 3. I think it's number 3. It's not the one with the big red mushroom in it. So yeah, that's one I really thought I liked the detail, so I may do that at some point in the future. I don't think I'm going to get a finish on this year, to be honest. I just don't feel that is going to happen, but you never know. You never know. but I'm very, very sort of confident that I will get my 4 pages done. And if that is the case, if that's all I get done, I will make sure that I finish this chart next year. As a definite, by the way. So there we have my HAED sal, which is ticking along pretty well. Next one I'm going to show you is one of my golden oldies. This is Riverwalk Charm. You're going to be seeing this one for another 10 years, I'm afraid. This is by artist Ruane Manning, and I did a total, not very impressive total, of 1,132 stitches this month. However, it has not been the focus this month at all, because as I said, I've been focusing on the Thomas Kincaid chart to try and get that out of the way. So I will stand up again and show you this one in full. This is being done on, doesn't even fit in the screen. This is being done on 25 count, 2/1 10th stitch. And I am, as I said, around 42%, I think. And I did, yeah, just over 1,000 stitches. So it hasn't been, the area that I have been stitching in is around here. So I came up and I started doing all these off-white colours, which really were terrible to try and stitch. Really did my eyes in trying to see that colour, because you really can't see the colour. It's just so light. And I also think I did a little bit more down here. I came out because I really wanted to see more of the building, so I kind of cheated a bit and came out. But mostly just going all over the place, to be honest. I've seen a lot of people kind of doing the same thing, which is fun. I mean, I don't see that you need to stick to one particular area if you don't want to. So this one's ticking along nicely. And yeah, that's what half looks like of a very big chart. This is a regular. That's what half of it looks like. It feels like I've been stitching this one for my entire life, but obviously that isn't true. I've been stitching this one since beginning of 2020, which isn't actually that long ago, if you think about it. It's not like a chart I've had for years and years. It's only about 3 years old. And I've done half, so another 3, so 6 years in total for a regular chart. That's not too bad, is it? Not too bad. So that's my progress there. And as long as I keep it in the picture, then that's a good thing. If I just put it away and say, oh, I'm just going to, kind of UFO it for now, it doesn't come back out. It won't come back out. I kind of have a propensity to, if I put something away, it just stays away. So I try to keep what I know that I can cope with, what I can physically cope with stitching, in the picture all the time. So that one, no matter what else I'm doing, it has to come out sometimes. Even if it's just twice in the month, it doesn't matter. But just to keep it moving, I have to bring it out. So the next one I want to show you is the one I love the most lately. It's called Happy Village by Irina Orlov. I started this one, I think it was the 1st of February this year. So I've been working for it for 2 months. And this month I managed 2,966 stitches. So I'm just short of 3,000 stitches. And again, 25 count, 2/1 10th. And I'm working this one in diagonals. So I've managed to get finished a whole diagonal down to the very bottom, and then I went back up this month and I came back halfway. That's my progress in March. I totally love working on this one because of the colours. They really, really appeal to me. I just love it. I just love it. It's sort of picture it's the scene I'd like to see if I was looking out of my bedroom window at night. That's what I'd like to see. It's just so sort of serene and pretty. I think it would even match this room very well if I had it up on the wall. And yeah, so just under 3,000 now, compared to last month when I did, I think it was 11,000 on this one, but I think that's understandable because it was a brand new chart I had just started, and you know what it's like when you just start a chart, you go a bit crazy and you forget everything else exists for a while, and you just go full speed ahead on the one that you've got. I totally love it. Totally love it. So that's my progress in Happy Village. I keep ticking away with this one. This one will be going into April. I want to finish that diagonal and get to the bottom, and maybe at least try and get another diagonal done before the end of April. And the way I'm working this actually is I'm not intending to do diagonals down through the entire chart. That would be crazy because it's a regular size and that would be just too much. So I'm actually working 3 pages by 3 pages. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once I get to the end of this 3rd page, I will start decreasing down. So you'll have an edge down here. Can't see which way my finger's going. You'll have an edge down here, and I'll just complete the first 6 pages in diagonal. Then I intend to move down and complete 6 underneath. Because they're very small pages, that's like 1 page width. So it's 1, 2, 3. So it fits perfectly, actually. I can do all of those 6 pages in the one hoop. Fits perfectly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I've got like 2 more squares to go down here. That'll be the bottom of 2 pages, and then it'll just 6 pages really just fits quite snugly in here. That's kind of how I try to figure it out. So basically my diagonals, once I get another couple of squares over, my diagonals will get smaller and smaller until I reach this little point, and then I start again at the bottom. I think that's a pretty good way to do it, considering it's working really well for me on this hoop, and I don't have to move the hoop at all, move the fabric at all, until I've done 6 whole pages. Sort of makes sense. I've gone off the Q-snaps a little bit now. I've tried to go more to the Nudge hoops, because as you can see, they're a lot thinner, a lot less heavy, and they're fitting better on the clamp on my Lowry frame. I find that the Q-snap on the Lowry frame, tried all manner of ways to get the Q-snap to sit nicely into the clamp, but it does kind of slip out every so often, and it's, you know, trying to wind it in, it's creaking. I'm worried it's going to break the clamp. My last clamp broke, or it was faulty, and I got a replacement. I don't want that to happen again to the new clamp, so finding this thinner version going into my clamp is just it doesn't sound like it's, you know, causing any issues. So yeah, there's cat hairs everywhere, absolutely everywhere, choking me to death lately. That'll be my one grumble on this video, is the cat hairs. So where are we at? That was Happy Village. My next chart that I want to show you is Home for the Holidays by Thomas Kincaid. This one is the one that I am so close to a finish now. This is actually, okay, so this is 25 count, 2 over 1/10 stitch that I'm doing this one on. And I started it, what year are we now? 2024, 23, the very end of 2022. So I've been working it about a year and 2 months, and I'm very close to the end. And this month I did 4,000, just under 5,000 stitches, which makes sense because it kind of was the focus piece to try and get a finish on. And I'll put a picture up of what it looked like. And this is how much I have got done now. How much I've got left is barely anything at all. Just that little corner at the bottom is what I have left. So let me stand up. So last time I was showing you the little guy with the sledge, and I don't think I'd stitched the sledge last month, but it is actually, you can see it there, it's finished now. And I moved over and I worked my way down on those trees, totally finished the top of the house. I did those windows on the left side of the house. So all I've got left really is the trees and the foliage, and then it will be a finish. So all I've got left now, and I can tell you, it's only, what I've got left now is about 5,000 stitches left to do. So I'm coming down here And I sort of winging it a bit down there because all of this section is only two or three colours now. I'm only using, because it's background, it's only 2 or 3 colours. So there's not much, hardly anything. So I was actually thinking of doing a cross stitch. I was thinking of doing a weekend, Easter weekend challenge with this one. And because I haven't gone away for Easter, I thought I might do, I had about 7,000 stitches left to do. And I thought, could I do that over the long Easter break? But then I thought, no, it would be too much pressure. I'd have to do more than 1,000 stitches a day, and it would have to be every day, and it would just stress me out. So I decided against it. But it was, it was an interesting idea. But I did do 700 on Good Friday, and I did another 700 yesterday, and today being Easter Sunday, I don't know if I'm going to pull it out again. Possibly might come out later. I'm kind of wanting to get a little bit more progress than the others again as well, because I've been, oh yeah, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. I did a spin the wheel. It's not something I've ever done or have done much. I did a wheel spin every day this week, and I put in all these whips, and I decided to just spin the wheel and work on the one that come up, and that just took away the whole which one do I work on kind of thing. And that's why they sort of came out all in random orders. But I worked on this one more than once this week because I worked on 7 whips. 1 for each day of the week was perfect. I just picked out one, decided I would work on it the entire day, and then the following day I would exclude that one that I'd already worked on and then pick another one and so on. But this one came out more than once because of it being a focus. So a couple of days this week it came out like 3 or 4 times and not just once. So I think the next time I show you that one, the end of April, that's going to be finished. That will be finished. I don't know if it's going to be an FFO, probably not, more than likely not, but it will be a finished object. That means I will be down to having one less HAED to work. Isn't that fantastic? Okay, the next one I want to show you is one that you might be familiar with because I started this ages ago. It's not a large one. This is by Artisy, and it's called Paris Romance. I haven't touched this one for well over a year, if not longer. And I didn't bring it out just to do like as much as I could. It was just a pleasure stitch. It's not a focus piece at all. I just wanted to do something a little bit different from what I've been doing the whole month. So this one just came out just to give me a total break. In fact, I was a bit nervous because I started working this one a little bit cross country on 1/1 full cross on 25 count, and I was worried that I wouldn't find my progress on Pattern Keeper. I did, however, have progress. I didn't have my Pattern Keeper progress right up to the last stitch that I'd done, but I had it fairly close. But because it was cross country, I had to have a little search around to see what I'd done and what I hadn't done. It kept me occupied for about 4 hours. And that's kind of what I've got done on this one. So I didn't do all that this month. I only did 500 stitches, but I contributed to it. So as you can see, I've been more or less cross-country in this one. And yeah, it wasn't, my Pattern Keeper progress wasn't completely up to date. There was some missing around here, so I had to go in and try to get it up to date so that I could continue working on it. I couldn't find a more recent progress file, but that's okay. It was a bit harder to do when you've got stitches all over the place. If I had everything just in blocks like I normally do, I could just, highlight and cross off all the little blocks that I'd done. But once you've got something that's all extreme, it gets harder to, like if you lose that progress on your Pattern Keeper app, you would not be happy, let me tell you. So talking about Pattern Keeper app, let me just finish showing you the last one, and I'll explain what happened to my tablet. The last one again is one that I haven't picked out for a while. It's called Butterfly Ornament by Butterfly Ornament Port Peach by Jenna Della Grottaglia. It's a Heaven and Earth design. Again, I'm doing 25 count 1/1. So I'm doing quite a few. I started quite a few with 1/1. Again, I only did about 500 stitches on this. So that's as far as I've got. And all I did was the little bit, oh, I need to stand up. I can't do it like this. This bit here. Yeah, there we are. Are we focused? This bit here, I got a little bit more worked in there. And it's not a focus piece. This one is not a focus piece. This is just like one I put, you know, I just started it on a random whim, put it to one side, forgot about it, saw it and thought, oh, I've got all my threads. I've still got all my threads and all my organized stuff and everything. So sometimes I just want a break from all the big ones that I'm doing. So just pick up one of the little ones. This is certainly little in comparison. And pick up either of these two and just, you know, chill and watch TV with one of those. The others I have to concentrate more. And they're obviously bigger and a bit more bulky to manage. So that's all my whips I've done this month, and I think that's quite a lot. I think that's quite good progress. So what happened with my tablet was, for a little while it had been, I have a Samsung Galaxy tablet and it was an 8-inch, and for a little while it's been sort of doing stuff I don't like turning itself on and off, restarting without me restarting it. Screen looked a little burnt around the side. It wasn't old, but it was secondhand. So it's lasted me about 3 years, and I thought, well, being a secondhand electronic, it's probably on its last legs. So I backed everything up as I normally do. I back things up like every week, and decided I was going to buy a new tablet, which I did. So I got a new tablet. And I wanted to transfer everything from the old tablet to the new tablet, which sounds really simple, doesn't it? But no, it's not simple, because Pattern Keeper wouldn't allow me to transfer the files, the PK progress files, simply because the PK progress files were exported with a .pdf written in the extension name. So I exported the file, and it did say PK progress, that's the file you want, but it had a .pdf at the end. And when I tried to import it back into Pattern Keeper said, no, we don't like this, it's not a PK progress file. And I said, well, it is a PK progress file, because I just exported it as a progress file. So what I had to do is take off that, rename it, and take off the .pdf at the end. And then Pattern Keeper liked it. But it was such a faff job yesterday. For 3 hours I sat there complaining and grumbling, because this just was it was just like the old tablet that kept deciding to restart on its own, decided to do it as I was trying to get the files onto my, you know, out of my drive and get it onto the other tablet. It was 3 hours of life wasted. Honestly, I could have been stitching. But hey, it got done, and I got all my whips, and my goodness, I only had to transfer 7 of them. Imagine if I had to transfer the progress of like 50. How do you do it, guys? How do you transfer? If you have to transfer all your files from one tablet from one device to another, it must drive you potty having to do so many. But I only transferred the ones that I'm currently working on. Anything else that has progress is just saved in my drive. So, for instance, one of the, like, if I find a chart that I was working on 4 years ago, it's probably going to be somewhere in my drive, and I haven't touched it since, because it's not in my Pattern Keeper. It's not in my Pattern Keeper. I haven't touched it for ages. I don't just keep everything in the Pattern Keeper. I only keep the ones that I'm currently working on. Everything else is just backed up. So I just don't get headaches like that when I think, oh my goodness, if I open Pattern Keeper and I see like 50 HAEDs, I'd probably just run away. I probably would. So that's my progress this month. And going forward, I'm probably going to continue. I think it makes sense just to continue with getting the finish that I want to get. I may or may not pick this up. I don't want to put this in the rotation as a definite, because then it would just add to the pressure. I know that when my HAED is out of the picture, I'm going to have a slot free. Like, there's a vacancy, guys. There's a vacancy where I can do another, I can add another whip. But yeah, I'm trying not to get too, there are a couple of charts that I like that I'm thinking, but I'm trying to resist is all I can say. Resistance sometimes is futile. But at this point, I'm just trying to resist. I can't say for sure it's going to work, that I'm going to be able to hold out permanently. Some point down the line, I'm going to have a terrible day and I'm going to need cheering up, and I'm going to say, you know what, to hell with this. I'm going to go and start that chart that I like. But up to this point, it hasn't happened. So let's see. I'll let you know. If I introduce a completely new project next month, you'll know that I've had a bad day. That's basically what it boils down to. So that is all my whips for the month, and I don't really have anything else to say or to show you. That's just been ticking along nicely as I wanted it to. I don't like to make anything too stressful. Like I said, it's just my hobby, so I don't want to make it a huge stressful thing. I just pick out the number of projects that I want to work on in the month, and then I just work on them. And if I don't get whatever it is that I need to get done, I'm not going to cry. I've still got time ahead of me to get back to the stuff that I need to get back to. I don't think there's anything else that I need to let you know. I hope you all had a lovely Easter break. We didn't go away this Easter. We decided to stay at home. We haven't even got any family visits or anything. All our family live just very far away from us, so it's very rare that we get family visits. But we have been going out quite a bit at the same point, so that's been really nice. And the nice weather's coming in now. It's not as cold as it was, so the heating isn't blasting away as it usually is. So we're enjoying the outdoors a little bit more. I'm suffering a lot from allergies because at this time of year, and having a very fluffy cat, I've never actually been allergic to cats, and I had a allergy test a year ago or so, and they said I was not allergic to cats. And I don't think I'm allergic to cats, but what I do get is a lot of irritation in my nose because her hair is so long and so aggravating. It just tickles my nose. It's not an allergy, it's more an irritant. And I just feel completely, blocked up with cat hairs and stuff. I can see them floating around, constantly vacuuming the place. It's just that time of year. She's a very long-haired cat. She's shedding her hairs. They're just everywhere. The amount of hairs that I have woven into my projects is unreal. I mean, I think it's 50% original colours and 50% cat colour. You just can't really tell unless you look in the right light and you look closely enough, and you can say, yeah, that's a 50% ragdoll piece that you're working on. With the amount of cat hairs that are woven into it. It drove me crazy, but now I just think c'est la vie, gives it its own unique flavour. I'm not gonna cry over spilt milk. I'm just gonna let it be what it is. If it's gonna be like a bit of cat hairs woven in, that's just what's going on in my life at the moment. Having a hairy cat. It could be worse things, I suppose, that get woven into your fabric. So yeah, there's all the spring hay fevery stuff going on, which drives me a bit potty. So I kind of wake up and I can't breathe through my nose, which means there's a lot of snoring going on. And I'm actually getting a sore throat because of all the dust and things. So yeah, I have to be on top of keeping, the vacuum, keeping the hoover running to just try and keep up with the amount of hairs and dust. But it's something that I'm willing to put up with because we're getting a little bit more sunshine outside, and it's nice and more pleasant to go out for walks and things like that. So we're taking time for going out for walks and just doing general simple stuff with nature. I quite like a simple life. And I think that's everything. I don't think there's anything else that I need to tell you. No big dramas this month. Nothing happening, which is great. I don't do drama, or at least I try not to do drama. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy your Easter Sunday. I won't be eating any Easter eggs because I'm trying to cut down, which is, that in itself is a bit of a pain when you've got your family scoffing chocolate around you all day long and you're trying not to eat it. So I do treat myself. I'm going to have a few treats anyway and see how we go. So have a lovely Easter, rest of your Easter break, guys. Whether you celebrate it or not, just enjoy the time you have with your family. And I will see you again soon, I hope. Take care and see you soon. Bye.